What is good, everyone? OG over here from Player Essence, and welcome to another PE News. Today we have some awesome information for you guys because we finally have an update on Dragon Marked for Death for the Nintendo Switch. We have some updated screenshots for that game too. We also have Valkyria Chronicles 4 in terms of the analysis in Japan from the Media Create. Sales aren't looking too hot. We have some more information on that in terms of what Media Create had to say on the matter. Then we also have a brand new trailer for Liar Princess and the Blind Prince as well. So let's go ahead and get right into this. And we are starting off with Inti Creates Dragon Marked for Death. We finally have an update for this game. And yes, I can announce here that Dragon Marked for Death will be at PAX East this upcoming weekend. So really cool there. Plus we have some brand new screenshots for the game. So Dragon Marked for Death is a dark fantasy style action RPG releasing later this year. So that's also the update on there, later this year. No actual time frame, but that's what I got in the email here. They also have Galgun 2, Japan's most infamous and shenanigans filled shooter, coming to Nintendo Switch as well. That's releasing on April 24th of this month. There'll be a full breakdown of each game in terms of what Dragon Marked for Death is and Galgun 2 at the show for PAX East. So that's awesome as well. I'm looking forward to it. If you're going to PAX East, they will have both games at booth 24114 this year. So if you want to go check out Dragon Marked for Death or Galgun 2, you'll be able to do so. So that's awesome to see. But for me, Dragon Marked for Death is the big one here, guys. When I first saw this game at last year's Nindies Direct, I was floored on how cool it looked. As this cool like pixel art style to it, action RPG, you have all sorts of stuff going on. But the most intriguing thing about the game to me is the fact that it has 3-player online multiplayer as well, to where you can team up with your buddies, you can go through side-scrolling missions, level up, take on new quests. So that's what I'm really excited for, is kind of going through with the village here, playing and figuring out new things and leveling up with all of you guys out there, man. So I'm excited for this game. We finally have an update for it. So just in case anyone missed it, if you heard me say what they're talking about here with this game, it is coming out later this year. So I would guess that later this year means like at least Q3. That's what I would guess would be Q3. If they're just going to say later this year, they're probably going to be overhauling or fine-tuning a lot of different things, because this game was supposed to launch at the end of last year. So the fact that they're saying, okay, well, later this year definitely shows me that they probably have bigger ambitions for this game from when it first started out. They probably wanted to tweak other things, or potentially even have Nintendo's online system ready to go when it comes to the paid online before this game drops, because they needed some new features, or they needed to tweak some things when it comes to matchmaking or invites. So I'm thinking maybe that had to play a part into it, in addition to just fine-tuning, refining, adding in content to the game. So I have no problem with them delaying the game in terms of it being 2017, because now it tells me that, hey, they really wanted to add something. And then you also have to remember that Inti Creates has had a busy past 2 to 3 years in terms of what they were doing. They were doing Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, then actually got off of that project. So they've been kind of bouncing around here and there in terms of stuff. The Azure Striker Gunvolt pack, that was something that they were doing as well. So now they can pretty much focus all on this game. So I'm really excited for it, and I can't wait to see what they show us at PAX. And of course, these screenshots have been looking amazing, so I'm looking forward to seeing more of the game soon. So what do you guys think about Dragon Marked for Death releasing later this year and these new exclusive screenshots? Are you excited for this title? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the next story here, we're going to be talking about Valkyria Chronicles 4 initial sales in terms of the Media Create analysis, and they defined it as unsatisfactory, which I don't like talking about this, or at least I don't like to make videos like this when it comes to games or properties that I absolutely love, but at the same time, it's just something to kind of look forward to. I do think there's a little bit of hope, because some people sent this article to me and were pretty down about Valkyria Chronicles 4's performance in Japan and wondering what's going to be next. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So the game did sell 62,921 units in its debut week in Japan. Now that is not including digital sales, so we don't know how well it did digitally, but just based on what's been going on in Japan in terms of digital consumption rates with the PlayStation 4 and any game not named Monster Hunter, things haven't been that great when it comes to Japanese games, so you can expect that it didn't do that much better when it comes to digital. Now, Valkyria Chronicles, the original that came out for the PlayStation 4, so the remaster, that did 56,000, so it was an improvement over that, but then again, this is a brand new game, not a remaster of a game that already came out, because remember, Valkyria Chronicles originally came out on the PS3. But if you go back and look at Valkyria Chronicles 3 on the PSP back in the day, January 2011, that game sold 103,000 units in its debut week, so a lot higher than Valkyria Chronicles 4, and obviously the PS4 doesn't have quite the install base that the PSP did have, so that's something to just kind of factor in there. And considering that since 2011, you know, there's really been a shift towards mobile games, there's really been a shift towards handheld systems, it was somewhat expected that this game was going to be underperforming. Now, I do have my own analysis when it comes to this, and I do feel that the Nintendo Switch version pretty much could have been, you know, holding it back in terms of total sales. Obviously, there's probably going to be people that are waiting for that one, but it is a great game. And I think that once the Nintendo Switch version launches and we get the worldwide sales in, I think it's going to do a lot better. And I talked about a little bit more when it comes to my sales analysis, or what I was discussing with the Switch version of the game in my video that I titled, like, did they flop or whatever, when it comes to Ni no Kuni 2 and VC4, Valkyria Chronicles 4. You have to look at PlayStation 4, right? PlayStation 4 has been getting all sorts of games in Japan, just like tons and tons of games. There have been Dissidia, there's been Monster Hunter, which I think probably had the biggest impact on sales, is the fact that people are still buying Monster Hunter in Japan. People are still playing Monster Hunter World, and that's still just a big phenomenon. People don't have the time to be buying another huge RPG on the PlayStation 4 because Monster Hunter World is just doing so well, and people can just continue playing Monster Hunter World over and over and getting new content or whatever that is. So I think that also played a part into it. On top of that, you have stuff like Dragon Ball FighterZ. There's just been so many games. Sword Art Online, Fatal Bullet had a bigger debut than Valkyria Chronicles 4 in Japan. So there's been a lot of these bigger open-ended games to where they encourage you to continuously play. So I think all of that factored in. Ni no Kuni came out in the same time. So there needs to be a little bit more balance, right? You're stuffing all these games in a very small amount of time on the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 4's install base isn't anything to write home about in Japan anyway. So I think that's really what contributed to sales, not because the game isn't good or anything like that. It's just because there's just too much stuff. There's just not enough systems out there in Japan, and there's just so many other games that take up your time, whereas, you know, in Japan, people just don't have as much time, in my opinion, to play games as maybe as other places. And that's why portable devices are so much more popular there, because they can play on the train ride and all of that, and they can play on the bus or whatever the case is. So what do you guys think about Valkyria Chronicles 4 in terms of deemed unsatisfactory by the media create? What are your excuses or your Johns that you can make up for this game? But like I stated, guys, I think this game is going to do a lot better once it drops on the Nintendo Switch. That's going to improve the sales. Also, you have the worldwide release as well, coming to the PS4, coming to the Xbox One. So I do feel that the PS4 worldwide, those sales are going to be big. It just depends on what comes out around them, because they're pushing it with these release dates, because they're coming out later this year, maybe October or so. You're getting close to some of the other games out there, some heavy hitters probably. So I'm hoping that doesn't launch in too busy of a period. I would have liked a worldwide release for the summer. That would have been great if they just did summer everywhere, but let's see what happens here, guys. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. All right, and moving into the final story for today, we have Liar Princess and the Blind Prince image trailer. So this features all sorts of stuff going on. So Nippon Ichi Software has released an image trailer for Liar Princess and the Blind Prince. It's upcoming action-adventure game about a wolf who can transform into a princess, guiding a blind prince through a forest in order to cure his eyesight. So the trailer features the theme song, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. You can check it out in the link in the description below. And Liar Princess and the Blind Prince is due out for the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PS Vita in Japan on May 31st. So awesome stuff there. The game is coming pretty soon here. Looks like a very interesting concept, because this wolf is essentially lying to this prince here in terms of transforming it and what it actually is, but then you can transform back and forth between the two. So some interesting puzzles, has a really cool art style to it if you're into that. So I'm excited about more titles from Nippon Ichi Software coming over to Nintendo Switch. At the NIS America event that they had, they just announced so many different games. They have a ton of titles coming over, a combination of new titles titles and ports to the Nintendo Switch, so I'm extremely happy about that. This is one of the games that I have my eye on, in addition to that Valkyrie profile style game that they have as well for the Nintendo Switch. I think it's called like Fallen Legion or something like that. So overall, great support from Nippon Ichi Software, or NIS America, as we can say here. So I'm excited about more titles that they're bringing over. So what do you guys think about all the different stuff that we talked about today when it comes to Liar Princess and the Blind Prince? We also have Valkyria Chronicles 4 being a little bit unsatisfactory, and of course PAX East with Dragon Marked for Death. Really excited about that one. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of Player Essence across the interwebs in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming pages and consider supporting Player Essence. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emotes via YouTube sponsorship. So check out the links in the description below and consider supporting Player Essence right here on YouTube. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to Player Essence for this RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.